Hi, and welcome to On the Road with Bobby Halton, and we're here again live at FDIC 2008. Thanks for joining with us, and today we got a very special friend, one of my oldest friends in the fire service, really, a guy I've been working with for almost 22, 23 years since I started going to the National Fire Academy. Ed and I have always been huge proponents of higher education for the fire service, something that a lot of people don't understand the value of, don't understand the impact of, and really don't understand how easy folks like Ed are making it for firefighters today to get an education. So listen in for a few minutes, and Ed's going to talk to you about the FESHE program. We're going to have a conversation about it, and I think you'll be, after you see this tape, signing up to get yourself a college degree, which is something that will serve you not only in the fire service, but everywhere else in your life. So listen to this. It's going to be a short talk, but you're going to get more out of this than you'll probably get out of anything else you could do with the next 5 minutes of your life. And Ed, thank you for joining me, and I'm so proud of where you've taken the program to. Why don't you tell me a little bit, what does FESHE stand for first?
FESHE, perhaps one of the worst acronyms in the federal government, but FESHE stands for the Fire and Emergency Services Higher Education Program, Bobby. And for years, the U.S. Fire Administration, National Fire Academy, has reached out to the training and all these other constituencies, but for years we really never reached out to the Fire and Emergency Services degree programs. And when you think about where professional development is taking place in the fire service with training and certification, and so many people like yourself went for a bachelor's and even a master's degree, it was time that we did that. So in 1998, we had a planning meeting. I created the mission of FESHE, which is, in essence, to reach out to the degree programs and help enhance the fire service as a profession, as well as produce degree candidates and graduates who understand the importance of education and how you can advance a fire department through progressive fire prevention practices and risk management. And in essence, what you go through in training is all the hands-on stuff. But once training and everything you trained for doesn't work and you have to call in some higher order skills, right, the critical thinking skills, the problem solving and analytical skills, that's where the degree programs come in. So we don't look at it simply as a matter of training or education. We look at it as both training and education.
So FESHE is helping the curriculas to kind of come together in some kind of fashion, so there's a degree of consistency between one college program to the next,
Absolutely.
Right?
And I like to call it, we're standardizing education, Bobby. Imagine the day when you can go to one college in Kansas, another college in New York, and another college in California, and you're all taking the same standardized model, what we call a model fire science core curriculum. And there are 6 core courses, and eventually there will be a theoretical core set of knowledge that everyone across the country goes into a fire science degree will have under their belt. And so when fire departments begin hiring people, they'll know what they got their associates in. They can go to our webpage and see the curriculum, the outcomes, and the outline. And thanks to the fire service textbook publishers, they're writing textbooks to support these courses. So right now we have 6 core courses. We have 7 non-core courses. We have 3 concentrations in fire, 3 course concentrations in fire prevention, another 3 course concentration in fire protection engineering, and that's all just at the associate's level. And then to cap it all off, thanks to the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation, we also have a lower level course called Principles of Firefighter Safety and Survival, as well as a bachelor's course being developed.
And what's great about it, we're still capitalists, so while Ed is encouraging the publishers, if you will, to produce textbooks, there'll be a variety of textbooks, there'll be a variety of course descriptions, but the foundation will be there so that when you get that degree in fire science management or personnel management or associates in fire science, everyone will know that there's a consistent theme, and that's what separates a profession from a career, from a job.
Absolutely.
And we're a profession, much like nursing, much like law, and eventually I'll guarantee you that within probably a short time, we'll have PhD candidates in fire science and fire behavior and fire organization and management.
Well, in fact, that is exactly the point. If you ever heard Dr. O'Neill, the superintendent of the National Fire Academy, give his presentation about what it takes to become a profession, you ask a nurse, a lawyer, a doctor, or any of those professions, what classes did you take when you went to college? And they'll tell you pretty much the same thing. If you're a lawyer, I took constitutional law, I took tort reform, took tort law, all those things. And yet, you ask a fire chief, gee, what did it take for you to become a fire chief? And what classes did you take in college? You know, you're going to get answers that are all over the map. But 5 and 10 years from now, as the colleges adopt this curricula, the answer will be the same. Yes, I took building construction when I was going for my associate's degree, and I took these courses, the bachelor's degree. Everybody will hopefully have the same answer.
Well, and I remember, we'll go back 20-something years, sitting in Ed's office back when this was a dream. Like, how do we get guys to go to school? And now it's here. Now it's really happening, and this is the beginning of it. So the men and women out there who are listening to us right now, get in now. Be part of how this is going to evolve. Be part of this, really, the birth of our professional development side of our industry. And you know, my hat's off to you for what you've done. Now, Ed works in Emmitsburg at the National Fire Academy. How can folks, what's the website? Just go to the National Fire Academy and hit higher education, or
that's
is it
exactly it. And in fact, we just overhauled the web page. Just on Friday, I went live, and there's all kinds of new information. One of the things I want to call your attention to, Bobby, is that we are no longer looking just at higher education. Because, as I said earlier, you have training and certification, which really, in essence, are your 3 pillars of professional development in the fire and emergency services. So one of the things I want to say is that we are now a national professional development model. And it's what I call, really, we're standardizing professional development. And I would just frame it as interoperability for professional development. Just like radios and hoses need to connect and work together so that it's education, training, and certification. So they're coming together, and what we're trying to do is so that you minimize the amount of times you have to take a class. So, for example, you might have to take a training course and go for your Fire Officer 1 certification. So why do you have to take at the college level, say, a fire officer course when you've already have your Fire Officer 1 under your belt? So we're trying to minimize duplications of effort. Good. And so when you go to our homepage, look at the professional development model and the National Professional Development Matrix. We are reaching the point where around the state there will be one sheet of music, and all those who provide training, certification, and education will have the same information based on competencies. And it's a competency-based approach to professional development. How do I get to this competency? Well, I can get there through training, I can get there through education, and for that matter, if I get certification and there's a job performance requirement that lines up with that competency, you've achieved that competency. Exactly. So we're trying to just basically standardize education and professional development so that next time, 22 years from now, when our successors are sitting there trying to figure out where do we go, they won't have to. They're going to say, what was the problem 20, 30 years ago? Well, this is not so far off in the future.
And not for nothing, most of our union contracts, there's bonuses, there's union money available, there's all kinds of money to get education. So what we need you to do now is go to the FEMA website, click on the National Fire Academy, go to higher education, take a look at it. You know, it's money well spent. It's probably the best investment in your life you can make, because the fire service is about learning, it is about training, it is about continuous improvement. And because of men like Ed Kaplan and Dr. O'Neill and many of the other greats that are pushing us forward in this arena, things are getting better faster.
That's right.
And it's only going to mean better things and better firefighting in the future. So from Bobby Halton, we're on the road. We want you to all be careful out there, and thanks.